From emergency room runs to midnight meltdowns, you've been showing up, holding it down, and getting stronger in the process. This one's for every moment that felt impossible, but you made it through anyways. Hey, mamas. Welcome back to the Solo Mama Show, where motherhood is messy, holy, and somehow still beautiful. I'm your host, Marylyne, solo mama of two incredible boys, woman of color, faith walker, and purpose-driven dreamer. Here, we celebrate the strength it takes to keep going and the grace that carries us even when we can't. Today's episode is for the days you look around and wonder, how am I even doing this? Because the truth is, you are doing it. Maybe not perfectly, but powerfully. Let's talk about the proof in your own life that you are stronger than you ever imagined. Think back to the nights that maybe you cried in silence, but you still made breakfast the next morning. That time that you handled a financial curveball and still made Christmas or their birthday magical. The way you hold space for your kids and for your healing. Those are the moments that are testing you, but it's a testament also to your growth. It is a very special superpower to be broken down in one moment and pretend that everything is absolutely fine for your children literally the very next, right? Stealing those few moments that you can so that they don't see you breaking down, and whether that's in the shower or at night when you put them to bed, or in the driveway before you come into the house, whatever those moments are for you, where you feel like the world is just so heavy, like the burden is just so much, the next trial, the next obstacle is just too high of a jump. But yet we shake it off. We take a deep breath. We say a quick prayer. We wipe the tears, try to depuff a little bit, and then we go back into supermom mode. Though those moments feel like they are maybe weakening you, or maybe that last straw that was going to break the camel's back, instead you continue to persevere. And what is that moment for you? Whenever you feel like this is too much, or no, this is going to be that thing. This is that thing that finally is about to come and take us out, right? In those moments, I want you to pull from the past, pull from your strength, pull from your repertoire of, no, last time I thought it was this bad, God pulled through in this way. It might be at the very last second. And for us, actually, that happened a couple weeks ago. I've been saying he turned 15 since the beginning of the podcast, but it was actually a couple weeks before his birthday. Now he is officially 15. And the week of his birthday, we had so many plans. There were so many things that he wanted to do, and nothing extravagant. I have been blessed with super amazing kids who the very smallest of things make them incredibly happy. He literally and his birthday was on a Sunday, so literally was like, I just want to go to lunch after church, because we know that church is on the menu when it's a Sunday. But we spent the entire week at Vacation Bible School. Sunday was church. He just wanted to take one friend to lunch. And I'm like, dang, 2 teenage boys that I have to feed. I don't know if that's quite in the budget. And you know what God did? Do you know what God did? He literally made someone randomly out the blue, no advertisement, no conversation, no hit me up in the DMs, just book an appointment for a business formation service. For those who are new here, my main business is income tax preparation and education. So I teach upcoming tax preparation business owners how to not only file taxes, but to run their business in the background. But because my focus is small business owners and their growth, I also do formation services. That way we can make sure that from the very, very beginning, your foundation is secure. You have everything that you need, because it's not just picking a name and getting an EIN number. There's operating agreements. There's all these things. But anyways, if you guys are interested, my website is somewhere. not the point of this, but the point of it is that I haven't done a formation service all year. It is now the summer, right? I haven't done a formation service all year. I think I did one in January right before tax season really got started, and nothing, right? But because of the way our business works, I have a very strict budget of, okay, this is what we can do. I already know that this is coming up, so I'm putting money aside for this so that anything that happens, you know what I'm saying? All of the things. Jagger surgery a couple months ago, we had to do the same thing. Okay, this money is strictly for that. We're not touching it come hella high water because we know we have this to pay for. Let's build towards whatever else we need for every day. So, long story short, birthday comes around, and my baby has a very simple wish list. He just wants to go to lunch with his friends. I had already started planning like a little surprise birthday celebration that we were going to have at home with just a few family members that we have here. That was already budgeted for. But he was very, not adamant, but like, you know how when you kind of want something, you kind of bring it up here or there, not really saying anything, but like, man, I can't wait to order this thing off of the menu. And I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, two teenage stomachs, no problem. But literally, guys, his birthday is on a Sunday. Was on Sunday this year. On Thursday, somebody booked a service that was $300 plus out the blue. If that ain't God, if that ain't God, I don't know what else is, because why did they do that? Literally, I had when the time came for the consultation, I was like, where'd you come from? Like, what made you decide to do this? You didn't even, there was no email, there was no communication. It was just appointment set, but God, right? And it's all of those moments that you have to pull through. Back to school is now here, right? So I'm like, God, you did that one miracle when, yeah, we needed you, but it wasn't that big of a deal. This one, we got two going back to school. One is in private school, one is in public school, but his feet is a men's size 9. Lord, make it happen again, right? And it's in those moments that you're being tested, that your growth, not just spiritually, but like mentally, is tested. Because if we break down and we don't even like, there is no time to pause. There's no time to stop. It's not in the wallowing that your miracle comes your way, or it's not in your wallowing that the solution comes. It's in the action, right? And it's not to say that we can't take a moment, because we're tired, right, mamas? Like, you are human. You're allowed to say like, dang, not again, right? Not this too, or what else could happen? You're allowed to have those feelings, and you're allowed to say that to God too. Like, sir, this week I don't want to be on the toughest soldiers list. Like, maybe we do a hiatus, right? And then we can come back, because you're doing the most. God is not afraid of your disappointment. He is not afraid of your anger. He is not afraid of your humor, right? And so those moments are the moments that when you look back are going to be the reminder of, I can literally do all things. And it is because of his strength that carries me. And it's because of his patience with me that I can find patience in some of these situations. It's because of maybe not even my testimony, because Lord, if you can do it for them, you can do it for me too. I see what you have done for others, and I'm going to continue to pray that my blessing is right around the corner, right? And we need to hold on to that. Hold on to your faith. Hold on to those precious moments. Hold on to that random time your kid came and gave you a hug and said, Mommy, I love you. Those are the moments that when things get like kind of crazy and things get like you are on the thinnest of ice before you feel like a complete and total breakdown happening. And I mean emotionally, I mean spiritually, I mean physically, I mean financially. Like, that account, if one more thing hit it, if one more thing hit it, it might go into the red. Those are the moments where you got to remember that we might have been in this position before, but we're still okay. The fridge is still stocked. The kids are still hungry. The house is still paid for. Some way, somehow, every single month, he figures it out. It don't even be me. He figures it out for us every single month, right? And when the things get tough and, the tests keep on coming, in the moment, it might feel like a lot, but just remember that it is just another step towards your growth. It's just another step towards building your spiritual muscle, right? And it is a lot easier said than done, because when you're in the trenches, when you're in the fight, when you're in the fire. I'm not worried about last month or the possibility that I know that he is forever saving me. In this moment, I'm like, uh, A, it didn't have to happen. You tested me last month. Did we need is it a recurrent a pop quiz every month? Is kind of crazy, right? But we kind of, what are we gonna do? Lay down and give up? No, no. We're gonna continue to put that in our Rolodex and be like, okay, let's keep going. I know what this looks like on the other end of it all. I'm going to be honest. I used to think that strength looked like having it all together. Now I know that it actually looks like getting back up again and again and again, because life is going to continue to throw you curveballs. Life is going to continue to uppercut you. Life is going to continue to life, right? And what are we, again, like I just said, what are we going to do? Just lay down and bear it and take it? No, we're going to keep on getting up. It's going to knock us down, get back up again. Because that is what Uncle McClurkin told us. Uncle Donnie was like, get back up again, right? I'm not going to sing here on this internet because y'all not ready. But just remember that, like, strength is simply you not giving up. There is very few people who truly on their own, without God's strength, without a village, or without something or someone, that truly actually all 100% on their own have it all together. The rest of us are doing the best that we can, and every time we get knocked over, we shake it off and we keep on going. We take the next lap. To me, solo motherhood is like the equivalent of grit plus grace in action, because you've had to make decisions alone, advocate for your kids, and trust your gut all by yourself. There is no one to tag in, but somehow you always find a way. You're building muscle, again, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And though you may feel tired, that tired doesn't mean you're weak. It means that you are doing the work, right? When you go to the gym, when do you feel, if you had leg day today and you wake up tomorrow and you can walk without a problem, you come down your steps and you hipping, skipping and hopping around, you didn't do no work at the gym the day before, right? If I go to the gym and I lift a weight and I don't feel this shoulder pop because it's been injured twice, if I don't feel it pop, I'm not doing no actual work. My body needs to feel like I got ran over by a tractor trailer and then an 18-wheeler came right after it. That's how it needs to feel for me to know that I put in work, right? And it's the same thing with your spiritual work. It's the same thing with your mental work. It's the same thing, unfortunately, with solo motherhood. If I just lay down in my bed for 2 days and I just tell them, have at it, I'm nobody's mother for the next 48 hours, I'm going to feel very rested, right? My muscles don't ache. My head don't hurt. My eyes aren't burning. But what does that mean? That means I did zero of the work. And you know what that really means? If I actually did that in real life, that means that now I'm going to have 5 times as much work. I decided to relax for 24 hours. Every dish will be dirty. The living room that they're not even allowed to be in will somehow have crumbs all over the place. Like, you made your life harder because we decided to lay down, right? And again, it takes so much grit. It takes so much power, and it takes grace. It takes grace to do it and not have a single solitary person know that you are in the middle of the struggle, okay, that you was just fighting for your life 2 seconds ago. Because one of the hardest things, especially for me mentally, I mean, it's both. Sometimes it's easier, it's simpler to just make the decisions and go about my day, but there are certain times when I wish there was someone to talk it through with. Someone who would, now, not to say I don't have people, but it's people who it's not really their responsibility. It's not, it might be my best friend who's going to sit and she's going to listen. It might be my cousins, but they're just going to agree with whatever I say because they have to help me feel good about my decision. In terms of really like a discussion, one of the biggest discussions that I had to have with myself, like, Marylyne, is this what we're doing? Yes, Marylyne, I think this might be the best route. Actually, it doesn't seem major, but it really does have long-lasting effects. And what that is Jagger is turning 5 this November. Where we're from in New York, children turning 5 anytime in that calendar year, whether it was January 1st to December, I don't know if it still goes to December 31st, but I feel like last time I checked it did. But that entire calendar year, they can start kindergarten together. Now, we move to the South. You guys know that we're currently in Houston, Texas. In Texas and a lot of other southern states, because I know Virginia, I have family in Virginia, it's the same thing for them. Georgia, Florida, I know for a fact, it was the same. If they are born after August 1st or something like that, like after the school year, they have to wait an additional year to go to kindergarten. Because that's not how we grew up, and that just didn't sit well with me. Like, I was not okay with it. And I think an even bigger thing, like in a past episode, I told you guys I have 11 siblings. 4 of us had kids all in the same year. My sister Vicky, who's the same age as me, my niece, was born in June of 2020. My nephew was born July of 2020. And my other nephew, my sister Giselle's son, was born a week before Jagger in November. All of them are going to kindergarten in September. But in Texas, when I tried to enroll him in kindergarten in the regular public schools, they were like, yeah, no, he has to wait an additional year. And I'm like, why? What is the difference between, like, cognitively, intellectually, he's probably above some of the kids that are already, going into kindergarten because their birthday was, I don't know, June 30th, right? And so it never sat well with me. So for like 6 months, I was going back and forth with myself trying to find a solution. And one of the solutions almost came that I was going to send him back to New York. I was going to send my baby because it was important for me that he did not be a year behind. If he did pre-K, he's already in pre-K. If he did pre-K again, the level of boredom, and I know this for a fact because I've already gone through this with Ethan. Ethan didn't get held back, but because I had more time with him, he was learning things kindergarteners were learning when he was 2 and 3. So by the time he got to kindergarten, he was already ahead of where he needed to be. So trying to keep him engaged and trying to make him not like regress because he's waiting for other kids to catch up with him was a major battle for us. And it turned into like behavioral things and whatnot. So with Jagger, I was like, I don't need this problem twice. I already know what this looks like. I know how to advocate for my kids. So with talking to my family, one of my aunts, actually, so she's an older cousin, and in our family, when there's a little bit of an age gap, even though we're cousins, it's just to be like auntie, but she is my cousin. She was like, well, he can come stay with us. She lives in Brooklyn. And I was really going through all of the motions of, okay, he's probably going to end up going, because it was important for me to not feel like he was getting held back. And that's what I felt like would have happened had he stayed in Texas. But it also never sat right with me. My kids are with me 24/7, and especially Jagger. Ethan, because he has a bigger family, and when I was in school, I think I told you guys a story about how he had my last semester, because I was doing the most. He had to go and stay with his dad or whatever, but that was his father, right? That was his father and his grandparents, because my mom was helping, his mom was helping. But though Jagger has met my cousin before and been in the same room with them and whatever, he's never been with them alone for even a night, let alone like dropping him off and coming back to Texas. And then, weighing the cost of that, because he would have still been in private school if he was in Brooklyn. So I'm like, okay, the cost of paying for tuition, the cost of flying back and forth, because now I'm coming to New York every other day, the cost of just providing whatever he needs in a separate household, and little things, right? Like his hair has to get done every 2 weeks. That shouldn't be their burden. I have to now figure out how to find a salon that will wash a 4-year-old's hair, blow dry, braid, have patience, and do all of those things. And all of this was to keep him on track educationally. Then when I mentioned to his current school that, yeah, he's probably not coming back in August, they were like, why? And I explained the situation, and they were like, oh, well, as a private school, we have autonomy over, how we enroll our kids. And if he does private kindergarten with us, no matter how old he is, once he graduates, if you choose to put him in public school or wherever he goes, they have to honor the fact that he has completed kindergarten, and now is a first grader. So I'm like, okay, now there's an option B, right? And by then I had kind of started wrapping my head around, okay, well, for a little bit, I'll only have one kid that I have to worry about, and that might be nice. But will it? Because will I even be restful enough? It was so many thoughts going back and forth. And then, of course, now the cost of private school tuition, I'm not even going to tell y'all. I think, no. I posted it on my stories a couple weeks ago. By now, it's long gone. You guys wouldn't see it. But it's not a little bit, right? And I'm like, okay, so tuition for him would be going up. My income, not necessarily. It's not like I can go get a raise somewhere, right? It's not like I can go get a promotion somewhere. My business does what my business does. I can add maybe another service, but people have to want the service. People have to purchase the service on a regular monthly basis in order to now make up for the difference. But now my baby is home. My baby is on track to, start school when he's supposed to. And this is decisions that, like, when I tell you I was doing pros and cons lists for everything, constantly going back and forth. Yes, we're going to send him. No, I don't really want to. No, we need to send him. No, you know what? Maybe him being held back an additional year isn't that bad. When going back and forth, and there's no one actually to bounce ideas off of. There's no one to be like, hey, babe, this is our child. What do you think is best for us to do? And the crazy part is his father lives in New York. Maybe that could have been a solution had there been a relationship there, but there's not. Again, just out here doing it solo. So all of that to say, like, advocating for our kids, making the decisions, doing all of the things alone can definitely be tiring. It is mentally exhausting to be, and we've said this before, to be the one that's always on 100% of the time, 100% of the time. And I just want to encourage you, like I said before, in reminding you that just because you're tired, just because you're exhausted, just because you're over it, doesn't mean that you're weak, doesn't mean that you've given up, it doesn't mean that you can't handle it. It simply means you've been doing the work. You've been doing it. So now you need a moment to rest. You need a moment to, my favorite word is recalibrate, and get it back together and do it again the next day. Because the truth is, what you thought would break you built you. Those hard seasons, they taught you boundaries. They gave you faith. They showed you resilience. You've had to learn to forgive, how to let go, how to trust God when you don't have all the answers. You're not the same woman you were before, and that's a good thing. For me, learning to forgive and how to let go is the biggest test, or the biggest lesson that solo parenthood has taught me. I had to learn to forgive Jude for leaving us. It wasn't his fault, of course, but like, how can you leave me with this 6-year-old who is obsessed with you? And now, like, we got to figure it out on our own. Why would you do that? Granted, I'm pretty sure had he had the choice, he would still be here, but it doesn't matter. Your grief and your anger has no sense, right? It has no sense. I'm trying to think of another word, but that's what it is. It's like, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you and you didn't even do it, but how dare you, even though you didn't do it and it wasn't your choice, right? I had to let go of the fact that, and forgive the fact that the other one is alive and well and living and prospering, but yet made the conscious decision to not be a part of the life that you helped create. I had to trust and forgive myself for falling into the idea of I did something wrong, right? That it is my fault that we are living this solo parent life. That it was the decisions that I made that got us here. Because let some of these podcasts tell you, I know I'm a podcast too, but let some of these podcasts tell you it's all the mother's fault. If you're a single mother or a solo parent or whatever, it's your fault. You should have chose better. You should have known better. You should have whatever. I'm not even going to even get into how stupid and asinine that is. Because our podcast is about love and light and God and faith. And if I go down that road, it will be a lot of not so nice words and commentary. So we're gonna leave that alone. But y'all just know that it be pissing me off because you're letting a whole human adult off the hook and blaming someone else, the one who is there, the one who is still fighting, the one who wakes up every morning and does all of the work. You're blaming them. Anyway, moving on. I had to forgive myself for believing that, for falling into that propaganda, for saying, dang, you should have known better. Because the honest truth is, I did. And I was living in what was my reality at that time. I was living in what was being told to me, what was being shown to me, and the love that I thought was reciprocated. Both of my children were born out of love. And so I cannot have any regrets around those. Both of my children were born out of long-term relationships, right? So it wasn't something to be angry with myself for. I had to forgive myself for, actually, I had to let go of the notion of I wasn't good enough, or my kids don't have the life that they deserve because of the choices that I've made. And that's a hard one. And saying this to you guys out loud is not easy for me either. But there is that idea of, and I'll never know whether it's true or not, and so we'll just leave that there. But it's like, maybe had I made better decisions, they would have a better life. But maybe they wouldn't. Maybe staying with that person and marrying them just because we were having a child or whatever would actually would have been a detriment to me mentally, to my children financially, to the life that they actually have now. Right? Who knows? Only God knows. And God gave us this path. He dealt us these cards. And why question that? Why be angry with ourselves? Why linger in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or the what ifs, or the fantasy of it all, when your reality is beautiful? Your reality is unfolding in front of you. Your reality is still being built. Your story is not done. And growth, that forgiveness and letting go of so much and living in now and living in your purpose, it shows how far we've come, how much I'm not the woman I was in 2010 when I had my first child. I'm not the woman I was in 2020 when I found myself as a mother of two. I am not that girl anymore. And that's such a beautiful thing. We're always thinking about what is the legacy that we're going to leave our children. And legacy doesn't always have to be financial. Legacy doesn't have to be property. Legacy doesn't have to be anything. Right now, your strength is a legacy, right? Your kids, they are watching you do hard things with love and integrity. You're modeling to them things like perseverance, faith, and showing them that they're in strength in the quiet and the consistent. It doesn't always have to be loud and showy. There is your strength, and what you're showing your children is going to be part of their foundation. It's going to be part of how they grow into the beautiful human beings and the adults, and carry that into their own futures and their own marriages and their own children. And that is the legacy that you would leave, because they may not know the full weight of everything that you carry, but they can feel the love that you never stopped giving. Even in the hardest moments, even when, you thought the electricity was about to shut off, you never stopped showing up for them. You never stopped being soft. And maybe in a moment of frustration, you might have thought you did, but the reality is, in the bigger picture of things, your children know how much you love them. Your children see how much you show up for them. And as they get older, I promise you, they see it. I had a conversation with Ethan randomly the other day, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but I said something about not coming to a basketball game. I really don't know what we were talking about. I can't even lie to you, but I just remember this part of it. And I was said something about, I'm just not going to come, or something like that. And he was like, so then who's going to be in the stands for me? Who's going to cheer me on? And that hit me, because it's so funny. When I'm there, the boy act like he embarrassed, like, Ma, you too loud. Ma, just like he just want me to be the chauffeur. Show up, sit down, be quiet, and then let's get ready to go. But in that moment, it showed me that showing up really does matter. Like he looks forward to it. Even when he looks up in the stands and he sees me yelling and screaming and he rolls his eyes like, yo, this lady stay embarrassing me. I'm there. And I'm the only one who's always there. And not to say that other people don't show up for us, because I will never stop telling you guys how amazing of a family and a community that we have. But it's a trinkle here and a trinkle there, and maybe at the finals or maybe at a championship game. But like day in and day out, even when you're on that sucky team that hasn't won all season, or even when you're frustrated and you don't want to do it anymore, and I'm the one telling you, no, we made a commitment, we're going to keep on going, we're going to end the season or whatever. Even when it's that sport that you didn't even really care about, but you figured, let me just try it. Every practice, every game, every scrimmage, every little, the coach said, everybody come to his house, we just gonna do drills in the driveway. You're there, and they see it and they remember it. And whether you think they notice or not, they do, and they appreciate every moment of it. So mamas, keep showing up, keep showing up with love, keep letting them feel that no matter what is happening, they are always still your priority. That is the legacy that you will leave, whether you are able to leave them a penny or not. That is something that is intangible that they can carry with them wherever they are in this world. And that is going to manifest itself when they are adults, when they get to be parents, when eventually my sons will be somebody's husband. And the love that I showed them, they'll be able to now duplicate it onto somebody else. The care that I had for them as a mother, they'll be able to show it to someone as a father. They'll know what that standard looks like, whether or not there is a physical representation of a man for them in their household. You are still good enough to teach them that and to leave that legacy for them. Sis, the fact that you're still standing, still loving, still showing up, that's strength. Not the pretend kind, the lived in, grown through, cried out, and kept going kind. You are so much stronger than you think, and the proof is in your story. 2 Corinthians 12:19 says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Lean on him and not in your own understanding, and we will continue to find the strength that we need to carry on day by day. If this episode reminded you of how far you've come, share it with another mama who needs the same reminder. You are not waiting to become strong. You already are. Thanks for tuning in to the Solo Mama Show. As always, keep your crown high, the snacks knocked, and I'll see you next week. Follow, share, and stay lifted, mama. Love you. Bye.